Hi everyone, welcome. How's everybody doing today? Nice to see you all. How's everybody? Last week I was away. I was I was in Orlando for I was in Orlando for my birthday. So fun. I had a wonderful, wonderful, amazing time. Oh my gosh, I can't even explain to you how amazing it was. Yeah. I'm officially 36 years old. um, yeah, it feels kind of weird, after 35, you're like, I love being in my 30s, it's the best, but it's just weird to say 36. I'm so grateful. I'm grateful for every year that I have on this earth. Thank you, everybody. Looks like a lot of you are here today. I'm so grateful. Please make sure you like the video, everybody. Also, share it to somebody if you feel like they would like it. Sharing helps out a lot, a lot, a lot. Let me look at the comment section. Hi, Brianne. Always nice to see you. Hi. How's everything going? Oh, great to see you too. My guys. Oh, sorry. I'm reading the wrong. I'm reading the one I wrote. Great to be here. She said, how's your birthday? My birthday was great. Oh my gosh. Absolutely amazing. Every birthday, every year, which I feel like when I get married, it won't be a thing anymore, which is fine. What if I get married? Which who knows if I will or not. I want to, but I have to marry the right person. But yeah, so every year I go on vacation alone, birthday vacation. Even if I'm in a relationship, I go alone. Um, so I started doing that when I was 30, when I turned 30, I went to see this guy I was seeing at the time, and ever since then I've carried it on. I didn't go last year summer, I forgot why, but every other year, and the year that I moved to Miami, I didn't go. But every other year, I've taken a vacation alone on my birthday. Whether I meet up with somebody, I like to just travel alone. I love traveling alone. I've done that since I was a teenager. I don't know, it just gives me such independence, and I feel so free. People are like, "Why are you traveling alone?" I'm like, I love it. I love, 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 love to go alone. I think that's my Aquarius nature. Always remember it's better to have a quality exactly than a quality man. Exactly. That's how I feel. So yeah, even though I've been single for 2.5 years, which is crazy, but I'm actually so at peace about it. When I think the other day, I was like, oh my gosh, I've been single for 2.5 years. It's crazy. But I'm very happy about it. And I was studying a lot too. I've been working, studying a lot. So like you said, it's the quality, big on quality. And I've been working on myself too. I've been in healing and therapy and doing certain things. I mean, I've been dating men, obviously, but like single for 2.5 years. But enough about me. Let's get into the reading. Thank you for your questions. I hope everybody's well. And yeah, I had an amazing time. I'm very grateful that I live in Miami because I was born in New York on a story there, and I spent a lot of my adult birthdays. Well, not anymore actually, but I spent a lot of my birthdays in the cold in New York. So it was hard to do things. So I like to, when I can, do something. But yeah, it's been 8 years now I've left New York, so let me stop saying that. Or 7 years at least. Okay, so let's get into the Hot Topics live that I'm doing today. And I've been so fascinated with the story about It Ends With Us, mostly because I've been accurate a lot about it. And as a fellow Aquarius, Justin Baldoni is an Aquarius. I used to watch Jane the Virgin. I have such a connection to that story. I don't know if you guys know Jane the Virgin. It was a CW show. It came out around 2014, 2013. And I just always related to, I don't know, I just love that show so much. So, so, so much. And he played Rafael Solis. Was it Solis or Solano? I don't know why I thought Solano. I think Solis. Yeah, and he's like this. I think they have it on Netflix still. That's how I started watching it because I stopped having a TV, but I had Netflix. And actually, it was on my birthday that I watched it for the first time, and I was hooked. It was on my birthday 8 years ago? No, longer than that. 10 years ago. Yeah, so my birthday 10 years ago is when I watched it for the first time. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm hooked on this show. And I binged all the seasons in like a week. So, yeah, I've just always had a love for the show. So, Justin Baldoni is the actor who played it. He's also a fellow Aquarius. And I've just always gotten a sense of him that he's a good guy. Even when Blake Lively came out with her accusations with the New York Times, I never believed it. And people came after me. It's okay, I'm used to it now. After the Johnny Depp, when I firmly, vehemently defended Johnny Depp, I'm used to people coming after me. But yeah, so very similar circumstance, not in the fact they were in a relationship, but in the fact that I strongly believe Blake Lively and Amber Heard have a similar personality type. I think that they have borderline personality. I think Ryan Reynolds has way more issues too. He's cuckoo. I don't want to say it in a mean way, but I just feel like he's very. And I just actually watched Candace Owens. I don't know if you guys watched it. She's been covering it a lot. And I want to tell you guys a quick story too, once I've done telling about the Candace Owens thing that I watched today. But she had this live, and I just have to say this because I don't believe people can coexist and not have the same beliefs. One of my best friends, well, my best friend, has very different beliefs to me. But you know what? He's actually very different to me. You know, I'm very like artsy, creative, tattoos, piercings. He's the opposite. He's very together. I don't want to talk too much about him because he's a private person, very private person. But when we speak to each other about our views, we listen, we respect one another, we agree to disagree, and that's it. We don't call each other names. We don't, we've had one fight that potentially was a threat to our friendship, but we both humbled ourselves and we moved on. That's it. So I can watch people that I disagree with and agree with some of the things they say, and disagree with some of the things they say. Not everybody's going to agree with you, and that's the beauty of life. So I agree with her about this Justin Baldoni situation, that she's clearly in the right. Excuse me. He's clearly in the right and she's clearly in the wrong. So, and by she, I mean Blake Lively. So she was talking about how his teacher, Ryan Reynolds' teacher, reached out to him. To her. I don't know, I'm confusing my pronouns, guys. I wanted to say that by name. So Ryan Reynolds' former teacher, middle school teacher, reached out to Candace Owens with a whole long email. And I usually don't like that kind of stuff because, when we're kids, we're not our best selves, especially if you're a troubled teen like I was. I was a very troubled teen, very naughty. I'm sure teachers have stories about me that's not favorable, so I don't really like that stuff. But the story she had, go and watch it if you can. But the story Candace spoke about was how, in a nutshell, he was 12 and he was already very good at deceiving people and being kind of, in my opinion, sociopathic, And I have an ex like that. And it's not healthy to say people like your ex, but when you know somebody like that, you're like, oh my gosh, I know somebody who is just like that. Who will try to deceive people and then say, oh, I was acting, He wasn't an actor, the person I'm talking about. I'm just saying, I know somebody like that. So, it was just very revealing. Okay, so one last thing before I get into the reading. I code, right? I develop iOS apps. And before I started developing iOS apps, I used to code websites. And website coding, if you see the coding of, and I'll be quick about this because I just want to make this point, that when I was looking at Candace Owens' brief commentary, I think it was 2 weeks ago, where she spoke about, they call it metadata in layman's terms. It's not called that when you're coding, but the metadata of the website, it looks like it was created way before. But also, how they created the message, they used a message container, which only you really use for chat apps or like message boards. So it got me thinking, because if they have a screenshot of the text, they could just use the email. Got me thinking that the New York Times doctored it, that's my opinion, or they wanted to create more text like that because it was an iPhone and the message container was made for Samsung. I don't know if that makes any sense. If you don't code, it's confusing, and I don't know, it's just like a tidbit. But anyways, it's just this whole situation is messed up, highly messed up. And if this is happening to Justin Baldoni, imagine how it's happened to other people. And obviously happened to Johnny Depp, but other people too. It's just Hollywood can be very, very scummy. So I just wanted to do an update about Ends With Us. And Colleen Hoover has appeared again on Instagram. So let's do a general reading about all the situations, everybody involved. I'm going to start with the New York Times, because they were the first to release all of this. So I'm going to start with the New York Times and legally what's happening, the energy of what's happening, and how this will affect the overall energy. So let's see. Okay, so I predicted that they would settle. I said April. So we're in February right now, so we have 2 months. Now, it could be April this year, April next year, but I strongly see it being April this year because it's provided them a lot of headache. I always say this, I'm intuitive based, I'm not fact based, so I don't go exactly by facts, by dates, but I've been accurate a lot with dates, but it doesn't mean that it will necessarily happen the date that I say, but the energy is that it will happen. So 3 of air, messenger, and love. So they are going to say that out of Ryan's love for Blake, they felt so badly for them because Ryan came to them in a time of need and Ryan was desperate to save his wife. And they're going to say Ace of Fire that they fell for it. They're going to push the blame, even though they are partially to blame, but they're going to push the blame on Blake and Ryan. And they're going to say they deeply care for both of them, and out of that care, they were manipulated. Very interesting. Yeah. 5 water patients and 8 of earth. So they're going to do this to kind of save the New York Times. I did say that they would end up firing Megan Twohey. Is that how you say her last name? Twohey. And fire her and regroup New York Times to make it seem like a more family friendly, less catch and kill type of articles. Catch and kill is kind of exposing people, you know. So yeah, that's what I see from New York Times. Now let's do an update on Blake. And if anybody wants to ask questions, feel free. I always take commentary. But I like it when you guys comment too. It's really helps me a lot. Oh, just dropped my cards. Hold on. I want to know where she is. This is she's in the Bahamas. Let's see. Okay, I see ocean. So she might be in the Bahamas. I see blue. Yeah, I just see her being in the Bahamas. Let's see. Temperance. Let me see the Miss Tarot for this, by the way. The Temperance, Ace of Wands, and 6 of Cups. So she's trying to hide for cover right now. Ryan has told her, go away, I'll fix this. And she's like, I don't know, there's a part of her, this can be very Son of Virgo, because I think Beyonce has this kind of delusional side too, where she's like, okay, fine, I'll just go, everything's gonna be fine, everybody saves me before. So it hasn't really sunk in yet. That makes sense. She's very like, it's fine. And Ryan's his controlling character ways, he's just said, okay, you go. Not in a nice way, actually. I see him yelling at her, like, you go, I'll stay. And don't do anything. He's like, don't do anything. Just stay there. She's like, okay. It's kind of really messed up. So I suppose men like Ryan can only be married to for a long time to Blake type women, unfortunately. So, Knight of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, yeah, so he's given her money. He's told, do whatever you want with it. Just stay put, keep quiet. Don't write anything on social media and shut up. So that's her energy. That's just, okay, so some of you have written, when the New York Times is bully, just, no, they're not going to. Because it's not going to work in their favor. Brian Friedman is too good of a lawyer for them to try to bully him with litigation. They're going to admit fault. I'm telling you. There's no other way. He's a very good Brian Friedman. I wonder when his birthday is. I've been trying to look. I think he's either a Capricorn, a Gemini. I don't see him being an Aquarius. But he's very intelligent. Like, he plays chess. And he's cornered them. He's cornered them to either admit that they played a part or that somebody else made them do it. And they're going to admit somebody else made them do it. So they can't bully him. It's not going to work in their favor. He's very good, Brian Friedman. Do you think that Blake's career will survive this? So I did a video about it. You can go back and watch it. It's a very good question. But she's going to, when they break up, her and Ryan, in the next 2-3 years, I saw them breaking up. When she leaves the relationship, he's actually going to leave her. He's going to meet somebody else and like kind of be cheating / talking to another woman, which is what he does. He can't be alone. Men like Ryan cannot be alone. So when they break up, and neither can a woman like Blake, I'm telling you, they, in a weird way, even though Blake is an imperfect victim, they kind of deserve each other in a weird way. I don't know how to say it, but they survive off of each other. And because of that, when she leaves, she's going to say, Ryan made me do it. She's going to come clean about Ryan's involvement, that he was jealous, and just say everything. And people are going to be shocked. Some of us kind of already have a suspicion that he was the one doing everything, even sometimes sending texts on her behalf. I think when he saw, and I said this in one of my videos, when Blake started flirting with Justin when he was away, she was, I believe, my intuition picks up, planning on testing the water to see if he'd be willing to be in a new relationship, to leave his wife for her. Then that's when he started to pick it up, because he's very intuitive. Scorpios are very intuitive. And that's when he looked through her phone. I wouldn't be surprised, and this has happened to me. The Scorpio that I dated to me, I wouldn't be surprised, especially if he owned a phone company. Toxic male Scorpios can be like that. Let me not say toxic, but uninvolved Scorpios in a shadow side, especially the men, they keep tabs on their partners. And I've had a Scorpio ex hack my phone to find out situations about someone I was seeing. When I moved on from him, I broke up with him. So that's how they are. They, especially if he had a technology company, he used to own Mint Mobile. I think he might own still part of it. He has ways of finding out her texts, So I have a strong feeling he found out her text. He wrote on behalf of her to. It's terrible. It's terrible what he did. Really terrible. Brianne says a codependent relationship is never. You're so right. It really isn't. When you're young, you're like, oh my gosh, I want to be with this person all day, all night. That's why it's so. Oh, important to have your autonomy as a person in a relationship, because you never want to depend on somebody. And I don't want to say it's a man woman thing, it's just a person thing. You never want to. Can you do an update on Beyonce? Okay, I'll do an update soon. Stay tuned. I'll do an update soon. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, so let's talk about Justin Baldoni, who he just did this podcast. He was a guest on a podcast. It was very touching, very moving. I've been in his corner from day one because I feel like he was telling the truth from the beginning. Intuitively, I picked it up. It's just like from day one with Johnny Depp. I was like, guys, I don't believe Amber Heard. And I'm telling you, people were really rude to me. They came after me, but I don't know what it is. If I believe something in my soul, I cannot lie. I cannot go along with something that's a lie. I can't. It's not in my character. So that's why I always defended Johnny Depp. That's why I'm defending Justin Baldoni right now. Not necessarily defending, but just defending the truth. Because he's been on social media with him. I got to the point I was like, I'm calm down. Because I was getting angry with people. He had to be a guy. And it's just like, I don't want to say hard to find, but we just, women especially, we love to be as the bad guy. And bad person, people badly. It's not about men, it's about people. Everyone has the ability to be like that. So let's see. Oh man, he's really going through it. But he's going to get through it. I know it's not easy to see right now. King of Moon, Ten of Water. He's focusing on making himself happy every day, which is very important. See how the Buddha is here, being very focusing on his faith, like he said, and taking himself out of the situation, which is Aquarius, what we're very good at. We're able to take ourselves out of situations and not take things personally. So he's not taking it personally. He knows it's not about him, and that's so important. You know, when people there's this book called The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, and he's a Mexican author, and he speaks about how the Toltecs, which is an ancient village in Mexico, they have these four agreements, and one of the agreements is don't take things personally. And it's silly, you know, especially when you believe when somebody's asking you feel this, but them choosing to do it, nothing to do with you, nothing. And he sees that because the moon, things about them that prove they've done this time. They've bullied other people before. You know, this is really crazy. This is coming up because I'm a huge Marvel fan, or I was at least. Recently, I actually canceled my Disney after the situations, you know, how they fired. I don't know. I keep talking about Johnny. How they fired Johnny. How they just, I just don't like what they do. Some of the stuff that they do, and so I canceled my Disney. And I used to love Disney and Marvel, but so when I had Marvel, I would watch because I used to work mornings. I work really early mornings, and I'd come home and watch movies, which is what I do again because I work mornings again. So I was watching Black Widow, and I love Black Widow. It was so good. And the next day, like the very next day, Scarlett Johansson filed a lawsuit against Disney. And this is one of the reasons I canceled it, because I was like, she's so right, she's in the right. So she filed that lawsuit, and my intuition said to me, I bet you Ryan Reynolds has something to do with this. Because I've had a Scorpio ex, controlling ex, who, because I broke up with him, has always, I don't know if he still does it, but he really made my life hell when I left him. So I always felt like Ryan Reynolds has something to do with the reason why Black Widow was shelved. I always felt like that because it had so much potential. It wasn't marketed as well as the others. In the beginning, I was like, okay, maybe it's because she's a woman, because that's sometimes how I think, Then I was like, no, because other female-led action movies that have done really well, especially comic book movies that have done well. I can't name one off the top of my head, but there are others. Then I thought, okay, maybe it's something else. Then I thought, you know what? Ryan Reynolds. Weren't they married? And then I thought, how are you with your ex? You're never publicly seen out with your ex, but they are under the same kind of network as you, There must be some rivalry there. And I strongly believe it. It might even come out, but we're going to see that Ryan Reynolds has done this many times. Many, many times. He's a very disturbed human being, I believe in. So who else is involved? Okay, Colleen Hoover. And then I'll move on. Then I'll move on to Taylor Swift and the Super Bowl. Okay, so Colleen Hoover, who's also, I believe, a Sun in Sagittarius. Well, because so is Taylor Swift. Okay, so something's going to happen also in April with her. She's going to admit something. I think Brian Freeman. Oh, and Brandon Scalina. Or Scalina, how do you say his last name? I almost want to say Brandon Scalina, so maybe there's something coming out about him. But, let's see. I dropped my card. But, and Brian Friedman is going to do something around the end of March that's going to force the New York Times and Colleen Hoover to apologize. So I'm using the news tarot. With Page of Swords, the Hierophant, and Three of Pentacles, she saw on social media, Page of Swords about social media, she saw on social media how bad the backlash is. And the shadow side of Sun and Sagittarius, they want to be the popular person. The popular one, they love to get fire signs in general, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. They love to be seen in a good light. And the fact that she receives any kind of backlash is going to really affect her. So the Hierophant and Three of Pentacles, so she's going to lean on other people. She's going to, especially with her new film, she's going to try to support the actors as much as possible. Let's see what's going to happen with the new film, which has Josh Hartnett in it. Oh my gosh, I have such a crush on Josh Hartnett. He was like maybe not say that, because Freddie Prinze Jr. was my crush. Freddie Prinze Jr. was my absolute crush in high school. I used to have major crush on him. Yeah, I never read any of her books either. But let's see what's going to happen with them. With these actors. Because it's Anne Hathaway, Dakota Johnson, who's Melanie Griffith's daughter, which is so crazy to me that Melanie Griffith is her mother. Crazy. And Josh Hartnett. So let's see. And they're all Nepo babies, which I think is very funny. Yeah. So let's see what's going to happen with this movie. So it looks like she's going to try to support the actors and push herself on the actors. And this is definitely the shadow side of Sun and Sagittarius. They can be very, and the cards came out in reverse, not good. The Tower in reverse, Four Cups in reverse, Eight of Pentacles in reverse. The movie's gonna bomb. And I feel bad about this. It's gonna send her into a deep depression. I feel really bad about that. Because no matter what anyone has done, depression is tough for people. I have sensed that I did this in my reading that I did about her and them in general. I've sensed that she has some kind of drinking issues, gambling, and financial issues, and shopping. I see her shopping a lot. And I don't wish depression upon anyone at all. I just think she needs to focus on her healing rather than trying to get famous. I think she's had years and years and years of trauma that's caught up to her that she needs to address ASAP. So that's what I have for you guys with regards to It Ends With Us. Does anybody want to ask anything? Oh yeah, Brian Skinner. Let me talk about him really quickly before we move on. Brendan Skinner, excuse me. And people were talking about Jenny Slate. I don't really want to talk about her too much. You know, it's funny. I feel like I met her before. I think she used to work. Let me see her history. I think she used to work with my friend in New York. I really think that's her. I met her like a while ago. Okay, so how old am I? I'm 36. I just said that. Yeah, so I think she used to work at this place in New York with a friend of mine. It was like this bakery a long time ago. This is when I was like 19 and she would have been, yeah, in her mid 20s. And she was very funny. That's how I remember her. And she was, I really think it's her. And we went out with her one night. I really think it's her. Yeah, it would have been a long time ago. There's a rumor Blake and Ryan are trying to get Jenny Slate to accuse Justin of sexual harassment. Yeah, let me clarify that. That's why I spoke about Jenny Slate. So let's see. Jenny Slate's involvement. But I really think I met her. We went out one night on the Lower East Side. And I always remember stuff like this because she said she was working on a comedy show. She was very funny. Very, very funny. And I was like, oh my gosh. She was friends with one of my really good friends. I think it's her. I'm pretty sure. Because she was older than I was. But anyway, it's just such a small world in New York. And this was like 2009. 2009? Yeah, 2009. Because I was 19. Anyways, so let's get into it. Oh gosh. Woo! This is what I just picked up is very strong. When's her birthday? Let's see. Okay, she's an Aries. I'm really sure I met her. I'm almost positive it was her. But 10 of Swords, Temperance, and 10 of Cups. So she's going to end up backstabbing Blake and Ryan. But I'm very disappointed. You see, this is what Hollywood does. This is how Hollywood is. It's very sad that people can be like this. But she's going to first try to get out of it. And then she's going to say, I was manipulated, I was used. I see her releasing a statement that she wants nothing to do with Blake and Ryan. They're twisted human beings. I see that her being very... In fact, if it's the same person I'm thinking of that I met, who was friends with my friend, this was over 10 years ago, and I'm pretty sure it's her. She was very expressive, and that's how I remember. You know, there's certain people you always remember. She was very expressive and very opinionated. And I see with that opinionated energy being very much like they're effed up people. They used me. They tried to do this and they tried to depose me. She's going to have that kind of strong language, which is very New Yorker. Very New York. New Yorkers are very much like that. Well, you know that she wants nothing to do with them anymore. So yeah, that's what she's going to do. She's going to be very, they're users, they're abusers, they did this, they did that. I have nothing to do with this. I want nothing to do with them. So let's see Brandon. I don't get the appeal of him, by the way. What movie was he in again? Other than this, we'll have been talking about him. I draw my card. Sorry, guys. Let's see. Oh, when's his birthday? Let's see. Let me see this real quickly. Because I get Capricorn energy. I'm calling him Brandon. Oh, he's a Cancer. He must have Capricorn in his chart. Let me see. Sun and Cancer, but I'm telling you he has Capricorn in his chart. It might be like a Capricorn moon, which is not always bad. I know one of my exes Capricorn moon. This one is the Vedic. Annoying. Sorry, guys. I just really want to find out because I strongly see this strategy he's going to use is very Capricorn. And have a difficult time reading the actual birth chart. Sometimes I get it wrong, so I want to be accurate. Not sending me to TikTok. Oh, here we go. No, oh gosh. I could do it later, but no. Oh, so his last name's Russian. Okay. Interesting. Anyways, c'est la vie. I'll just I'll let it go. But if anybody knows his, because some are saying that he's an Aquarius. They say he's born on the 29th of January 1991, which I don't know how he's younger than I am. It's so crazy to me that some people can be younger than me and look, I'm not being. I don't know. I just thought he was like 40. Let's see. No, I'll leave it. Sorry, guys. But yeah, so the strategy I see him using is he's just going to keep working. He's not going to have any involvement. 6 of Earth, have zero involvement in it, and just keep working. He wants nothing. 5 of Earth, 9 of Earth to do with this. Nothing to do with it. Which could be kind of Aquarius, which I don't see that being Aquarius. So we generally don't tend to do stuff like this. Like we believe in right and wrong, in general. So that's what I see. I see him just focusing on work, having nothing to do with it. And anytime he's asked a question about it, he's going to avoid it. He's going to avoid, which could be a certain Aquarius, actually. Certain Aquarius men can be like that. So he's just going to avoid it. Never apologize to Justin. Emperor Terrified by just take control of his career and just keep quiet about it. He's never going to mention Ends With Us ever again. Ever again. So yeah, that's what I think, guys, regarding It Ends With Us. Wow, that was a long read. Does anybody have any questions before I move on? I'm going to move on to Taylor Swift being booed at the Super Bowl. And I did say, guys, I don't know if you guys saw this, but I strongly believe they're going to break up. I actually have a Taylor and Travis video coming out soon. I'm going to edit it tonight. It's going to be available for members tomorrow. So if you want to see it tomorrow, become a member. After this live, I'm doing a members only live too, doing a general reading, and then you get to ask me questions. So part of the perks of being a member. So I'm going to use Earthwoman Tarot for this, and Taylor Swift being booed. So what was the reason she was booed? Let's see the energy. I did say in a reading I did a while ago that her fans are going to get sick. Everybody's going to get sick of Taylor Swift and Travis, but I said mostly her. And I don't want it to be like a woman thing. There is misogyny that exists, but I also think it's time for Taylor Swift to take a good look at herself. You can't always be around bullies, around mean people, and you are constantly the victim. You play a part too. That's very Sun and Sagittarius. The shadow side is that they're like that. It's everybody else but them. So let's see. I'm not a fan of people being booed, but I just think people have had enough. So let's see. What's the energy behind it? Also, I don't know if you guys ever watched Mean Girls. One of my favorite movies. I can't believe it came out 20 years ago. Insane. So, no, last year was 20 years, so 21 years. So, with Mean Girls, right? Regina George is the main mean girl. And when people start to be mean to her, spoiler alert, she starts to act like, what's happening? Which is how Taylor Swift was behaving. Like, what's going on? So, yeah, just wanted to tell you guys that. So, with the tower, wait, let me change the visual. You see her face is like, me? No way. She even says, what's going on? You know, which I'm not happy she got booed, but it's just like, this is a message to celebrities. You can hide your comment section, you can do this, you can do that, you can do all of the above, but at the end of the day, people will have a say. I don't know if that makes any sense. But with the tower, she was very shocked about it, which clearly shows she was shocked. And with Eight of Cups, she's going to try to say, or she's going to say, that for her happiness, she's going to recluse, the Empress. She's going to recluse. She's not going to speak to anybody. I see them breaking up. I mean, I've seen them breaking up for a while. The PR, I do have a video coming out about it, so please make sure you're interested and you check it out because it pertains to her disappearing. She's going to disappear, not take accountability. I don't see it. And it's unfortunate because if she did, I'm a huge believer in ownership, accountability. You know, none of us are perfect, and that's the whole point of life. But when you go around hurting people and blaming other people, that defeats the purpose of living in a society. You know, societies, we need to take accountability. And with King of Wands, Six of Swords, Knight of Wands, I see her dad kind of, I've always seen him as being this PR mastermind behind her. And he's going to tell her to recluse, to go away for a while, which I think is needed. People are kind of sick of her, and people don't want to see celebrity so much. You know, it's different to how things used to be. Social media has changed things. Social media has made celebrities be more vulnerable, but they're not really being vulnerable. Most of them, they're just lying about it. So if you're not going to be truthful about your life, people are going to pick up on that. And when they pick up on it and it's not what you presented it to be, they're going to get sick of it. I think people are tired of seeing them. I think so too, but I really feel like also with the Justin Baldoni thing, it's a combination of many things. The Justin Baldoni thing, the NFL, and she's really shocked. She's like, me? Which I saw that in tarot. She's very shocked. And because she's shocked, the rest of it just, I have a video coming up tomorrow. It explains a lot of this. Okay, unless anybody has anything to say, I'm going to move on to the last update, which is Kanye West, Sun in Gemini. I actually want to read his chart to you guys. I have it here. Lots of Geminis. Oh my gosh, I love Geminis. I don't know why people don't. I really, even if I don't, as an Aquarius, as a Sun on Aquarius, Geminis are like my odd. They're like my. I get them, you know, even if they're crazy and all that stuff. And I don't mean crazy in the clinical term. I mean crazy in behavior and outlandish. But I just get them. I feel like if they're not being abusive, we need them. in life. So his sun is in Gemini, moon is in Pisces. I can definitely see moon in Pisces. Can't find rising, but his Venus is in Taurus. Interesting. And North Node is in Libra. Interesting. So South Node is Aries. Oh my gosh, I can so see that. I can so see that. He's something. How old is he? 77, which means he's almost 50. Oh my gosh, he's 48. Kanye West is 48. Crazy. Time flies. Time flies. Okay, so yeah, because if I'm 36, he's 48. Wow. Okay, so let's see his energy, his update, why he's acting like this. Having Bianca run around naked. Very unfortunate. And all those tweets. Oh my god, the tweets. Okay, wow. So the energy I pick up on is that he's very frazzled. I think it's very mean when people say, oh, he's off his meds. I really don't like when people say that because you're not a doctor. And if you know somebody who struggles with mental issues, it's not anything to be taken lightly and to demean somebody off of. So I'm going to leave that out of this because that, I never like when people speak about that. Geminis are prone to have behavioral issues, to have mental issues. So that is something of his sign. But I also feel like he is just very outlandish, like I said. And I don't always agree with what he does. In fact, a lot of recently what he's done. For the past 3-4 years, I haven't agreed with a lot of what he's done. I can still appreciate him as a musical genius. He is a musical genius. Both things can be true. Somebody can be a musical genius, but also be very manipulative and rude. So I see here the energy that with the world, 8 of air, 7 of cups, 7 of water, excuse me, he has a very distorted, he kind of has this delusional, which is what fame does to a lot of people, unfortunately. If he doesn't get his way, he wants to make sure he gets his way. And I've always said this, I dated 2 famous people, 2 famous men. One of them is very humble, very sweet. The other was completely something else. But I'm very wary to date another famous person because I feel as though in both of these people's lives, I was the only one who told them no. Because I am not about that fake life. I do not, it's just not me to lie because I've walked away from lots of money because it didn't sit right with my morals. So I don't just do things for money. I won't marry somebody for money. I won't placate for money. I can make my own money, So I only say that to say that I saw people around them, other people around them, that would just say yes to everything. Yes, 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 yes. And you have to have a very strong sense of self to hear no. And actually, one of my exes, and I'll always remember this, I was going to break up with him. I said to him, listen, I don't like this, I don't like that, and I was done. And he said, I'm sorry. And I was like, what? Because I saw him surrounded by these people that said yes to him all the time and, placated to him, treated him like God. And I was like, I'm not one of these people. I'm going to tell you the truth. I appreciate you. I respect you. I love you from human to human, on a human to human level as my boyfriend, but not as a God. And he was like, yeah, you're right. And I was like, excuse me? Because I was expecting him to reject what I had to say, but I had to get it off my chest. But I saw everybody else around him treat him like God. And it's frightening when you see that level of control people can have. And I think that level of control has gotten to Kanye West so much that now when he hears no, he's like, okay, somebody else will tell me yes. Like kind of like a brat, And it's unfortunate because life humbles people like that. in the most extraneous ways. And we're going to see that unfold. So he's going to say he's building some kind of theme park. He's going to try to build a theme park. I can see that. It's going to be announced very soon. If it has to be announced, I tell you guys this all the time. I'm very into reality TV. That's what I love. So I don't really pay attention to this stuff. I just watch Super Bowl. I switch it off for the commercials. I don't care for the commercials. I watched the halftime and that was it. Even the commercials, I skip them and I do other things. But so it's been announced, then I don't know about it. But he is going to be very humble because things are not going to turn right. Something's going to happen at this theme park where it's going to be like a domino effect of bad karma. So that's what I see for him. His next year is going to be a very bad year for Kanye West. 2026 is going to be a very bad year for him, to the point that he might even file bankruptcy. That's how bad. So I have for you guys this live. It's been almost an hour. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Crazy. Thank you everybody for joining. Let me take these last two questions. Do you think that Travis knew he was going to lose the Super Bowl? Yes. Yes, 100% he knew. The thing about, I don't want to get too much into it because people are going to think I'm a conspiracy theorist. I think a lot of this is planned out. That's why I don't watch sports, because I think it's all a facade. I think it's all already planned out, you know. I think, and it sounds crazy, but that's my belief. I think that a lot of this has already been determined. It's just entertainment. I think at this point, it's just entertainment, and people fall for it, which is fine. You can watch sports. I'm not judging if you do. But sorry, I just draw my card. But I do think he knew he was going to lose. This is the thing. So I watched this show Traitors, right? And Zac Efron, it's so cool. If you guys know Traitors, I don't know if you guys watch Traitors. It's so cool. It's my favorite show. I love it so much. And basically, it's this show that started in the Netherlands, and now there's an American version of it, where they go to this Scottish castle. Alan Cummings is the host, and he chooses 3 traitors out of 22 people, but they don't know that they're traitors. And I mean, the people know they're traitors that are chosen as the traitors, but nobody else knows. So the traitors have to come together, and they murder people. And then that kind of gives them a clue as to who the traitors are. But you have to find out who the traitors are throughout the show. So fascinating. I love it. I absolutely love it. I love like murder mystery, stuff like that. Like Agatha Christie. I love Agatha Christie and Clue. I love that kind of stuff. So what was I getting to the point of this? Oh my gosh, I had a point about it. I totally forgot my point, guys. I've been recording for like 4 hours. I forgot my point. Johnny Depp's career seems to be coming back. Madeline Klein just agreed to co-star with him. Who's Madeline Klein? Who's that? Let's see. American actress. Who's she? Oh, she's pretty. Look how cute she is. Let's see. As his love interest? Interesting. '27 December. December 20th. Okay. It's called Daydream Girl. Interesting. Oh, it's falling. Yeah, good for him. Good for them. Outer Banks. Okay, yeah, I never saw Outer Banks. I'm sorry that. Well, good for him. Happy for him. I think I'm gonna chill on the Johnny Depp stuff. Oh, okay. I was like, I don't mean to. It's so terrible. I have an ex around his age, so I'm not gonna. And I probably am close to her age, Madeline Klein. She's 97. okay, I'm 8 years. 8 years older than her? Yeah, I'm 8 years older than her. So she's not. I'm just kind of over, and I generally prefer dating older men, so it's not anything about that. I I just would like to see women that are older that are seen as love interests for men around their age too. Maybe I'm being a hypocrite because I generally date older men, but I would like to see women like Penelope Cruz is gorgeous. I'm happy she's the love interest because that's just my opinion. I feel like older women also need to have love lives, and like most couples are around the same age, So when it's like a older guy with a very young woman, I don't know. And it's consistent. It just makes me like, I don't really. Even though maybe I'm being a hypocrite because I usually date guys that are older than me, but it's just my liking. I've dated younger guys; they're not for me. It's just what I prefer in my life. Yeah. So what's she starring as, David? Thank you for your comment, by the way, David, and thank you for showing up. Thank you for. I saw you comment a lot, so thank you for that. I really appreciate that, David. Yeah. But I had a point about traitors. I don't know what my point was. So annoying. Oh my gosh. And it was such a good point. I can't believe I forgot it. Anyways, I love that show, but that wasn't the point of my story. Love your channel. Oh, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. And that means so much to me. And I always take feedback. I know I'm a small channel and I can only, even though I have other jobs that I do, I don't consider this a job. I just love doing this. There's only so much money I can invest into it, and time because I code and I have another job. So the time that I do spend to do videos and so forth, I really put my all into it. So sometimes it's like when people are mean, it doesn't really affect me. I'm just like, that's what you saw about the whole video. That's what you got from it. But I suppose not everybody, and that's what I've had to learn in life. Um, not everybody accepts your good. They're always gonna see flaws in it. And that's fine. It has nothing to do with me. I'll take feedback and criticism if it's warranted. But just nastiness is what it is. Yeah, but I'm happy for him. I'm really happy for him. I've been thinking about. I don't want to become Johnny Depp, Justin Baldoni channel, Harry Styles channel. I don't want to become that kind of channel. Even though I root for the underdog always, but I'm really rooting for him. And actually, somebody that runs Johnny Depp's fan page has reached out to me, and she's so sweet, so sweet. And one of his fan pages. And she said that he's doing like an art exhibition. I'll be in New York in May, so I might go see it because I heard that he's into tarot too, which is so funny. I might go see it if it's on in May. In fact, I promise I'll see it if it's on in May. Because I'll be in New York at that time. I won't say exactly what dates because I don't want people. I've had stalkers follow me and stuff like that. So I'm not saying you would stalk me, anybody. I'm just saying I've had stalkers in the past. So that makes me suspicious of a police officer told me not to say my whereabouts and all that kind of stuff. So I only post about it after when I'm there, and so forth. So yeah, I will definitely, if it's on in May, I will definitely go see his exhibition. I was rooting for him from the start, and I told you all I saw him what, like 4 years ago now, 2025. Yeah, it was 4 years ago, and he just had such good energy. And I'm very honest about people that I meet or see in the street. I saw him on the street because I was on a hike, and he radiated. He had such his aura was glowing. I was so drawn to him. But yeah, before that, I grew up not really. My older sister, had a huge crush on him growing up. And before that, I was like, maybe because she liked him, and I always tried to have my own identity from my sister. But I never really saw people saw in him. I was like, I liked him as an actor. Edward Scissorhands one of my favorite movies of all time. I watched it the other day actually, and oh gosh, that the bed scene. I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it, but the bed scene always makes me cry my eyes out. Just a lot of his other movies. I don't really like Pirates of the Caribbean. I don't know. I just didn't really like it. I liked the first two, then I just felt it became redundant. But a lot of his movies I love. Murder on the Orient Express, which I had watched. I thought I hadn't watched it. Chocolat, I love Chocolat. Yeah, so, and I did say he's going to do a romance movie. I did say that. I don't know if anybody, I've been accurate a lot about him. I did say he's going to come into this woman he's going to meet her. She's not famous. People keep sending me stuff that she's famous. She's not famous. I can see that. And I'm very happy for him. Whoever this woman is, he deserves all the happiness in the world. And I'll be rooting for him. I'm rooting for Justin Baldoni. I don't like when good people are targeted. I feel like that's my calling in life, to defend these people. I got crazy the other day defending Justin Baldoni. I had to calm myself. I was like, no more social media for the rest of the day. It was like a month ago. But when everybody was taking Big Lavi's side, I was vehement that she is not telling the truth. And I got into arguments with social media. I was like, you know, how do you feel your peace? Stay off social media for the night. And just wait for the truth to come out. So I'm sending Justin Baldoni so much love, and his family and his wife, his beautiful wife. She's so gorgeous. She looks like such a radiant soul, you know, like such a wonderful, both of them. So I'm really with them in spirit because I don't like when things happen to people, good people like that. So that's my spiel. But yeah, I do appreciate the updates about Johnny Depp. I'm still having those dreams, so I don't know what's going on, but I think I'm gonna stop having until I stop having those dreams about Johnny Depp. I don't know why I'm having them, but yeah, wish him to lots, only the best. Only he seems like he's a very good guy. He deserves it. So yeah, that's what I have for you guys. I'll be back next week. In fact, I'm coming back for a live for members only. Everybody can watch it. It's the only people that can ask questions are members. It's live about the full moon in Leo because it is Aquarius season. As a sun in Aquarius, I have such an affinity towards Leos, such a love for them. Today is the full moon in Leo. So I'm just going to give little hints about how we can enhance our Leo-esque energy, especially if you are sun in Aquarius. It's very, very important. David, what sun sign are you? I'm just curious to hear. I'm interested. If you're still here and you want to answer, I'm curious to hear. Yeah, so I forgot my point about traces, guys. Oh, gosh. It has something to do with sports because I was talking about sports and how I just feel like it's all like a setup and all by design. But yeah, that's how I feel about sports. That it's just very, I don't know, it's just not for me. I've never been into sports. I used to watch soccer when I lived in the UK, obviously. I used to be a big Man U. You know, when I moved to London, I was to Chelsea. But I think it was more of a cultural thing. You know, I grew up in England, South Africa, and big. South Africa also very big on soccer. They say soccer in um, America, but it's football in England. So I grew up on that, so that's why I used to watch it. But and my sister, my best friend, played rugby. But I've never really been. And we used to have like a rugby festival in South Africa that I used to go to. It was around. It used to be around Easter every year. It's like a big festival everybody goes to. And I probably watched like one game that my friend was in. Everything else I never watched. But yeah, I've never been into sports. Sports is not for me. I've always been into dance. That's my thing. And suspense and murder. That's what I love. Not real murder, but like, fake murder and clues. Okay, guys, I'm going to be done. Thank you, everybody, for attending. I really, really appreciate it. Please share, please like, and if you're watching the rewatch, please comment about what you think. I'm so incredibly grateful. Tomorrow, I will have videos up for members only. Then on the weekend, I will start to release the videos for the public. So yeah, thanks for sharing that with me, David. By the way, about Johnny Depp. I'm really, really rooting for him. Like I said, I don't want to become a Johnny Depp fan page or Justin Baldoni fan page or channel. I'm not saying anything bad about any of them. I just want to be neutral. I'm not a fan of anybody. I don't believe in being a fan. Not that it's bad if you are. It's just not for me. I love my housewives, my reality shows. That's what I'm a fan of. That's what I scroll through on social media. So yeah, that's what I feel, guys. I'm so grateful all of you joined. In a minute or two, I'll be back with the live. So please make sure you watch it. I love you all. Take care.